I changed my major 5 times in 5 years in college because I
Wow.
just had no idea what I was supposed to do. But in my second quarter, maybe it was the third quarter of my freshman year, my father, who I had never had a conversation with, never did before, even up to his death, never had a conversation where we sat down and looked at each other and talked about anything. Never. He wrote me a letter, and in that letter, he said, I believe in you. I believe you can do anything that you want, and I think you'll be good at these things. I think you'd be a great writer. I think you'd be a good minister. I think you could probably do great at sales, and he listed some other things. Well, I read it, but because I hated him so deeply, I kind of ignored it. But I kept that letter. I still have that letter. That was in 1972, and everything he wrote in there, I did. I became everything he said, not because I was trying to, just because it was the natural flow of my life. So there's a very powerful statement there about the Father's blessing. He was blessing me in the best way he knew how. He was a good man. He wasn't a bad person. He just didn't know how to be a dad. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But what that did was, because when he said, hey, you could be a good writer, I thought, why would he say that? Well, but I'd always liked to write. I was always writing poems and things like that. And so that was kind of when I look back and go, okay, that was a kind of a stake in the ground moment where even though I wasn't fully acknowledging it, it happened in the spirit. It happened, because he fully believed what he said. And as my father, that carried a lot of weight, which I didn't understand until I had my own children, right? Well, within actually at that moment, I had already been born again. I'd already given my life to God to the extent that I could, that I understood. I had no church background, had no biblical background, anything like that. I was just basically, an unbeliever and wanted God. I believed in God, but I didn't know anything about it. When we started our Christian circus, I was very blessed to come under the mentoring of a pastor. He was only 10 years older than me, but he was like 8th generation preacher. And he was an amazing man. And he taught me about life, and he taught me about ministry, and he taught me to revere those who are older than me. He said, find the gray heads everywhere you go and see what you can learn from them, because there's so much wisdom there. And I've done that. And I've tried to teach that you should seek out people. The Proverbs talks about in many counsels, I seek wise counsels, and that means they've got experience. Well, experience comes from making mistakes and trying and failing and then succeeding. So that usually takes a while. So yeah, I'm looking for those older people. These guys were older gentlemen. And yet they took their mountains, they built the ark, Abraham had Isaac. And you go, yeah, at 80 years old, these guys are getting started. Why are we thinking that, hey, we're done? No way. No way. There's things to be done. That's where you're going to find your purpose. That's what you were made for.